Hey guys, Goldie Jr. back to add on more to your day. And this is going to be my final 2025 mock draft. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to do this 25 first round mock draft only. No second round. And then after the first round's over, I'm going to try to get out a second round mock draft with whoever's remaining, instead of doing both rounds and taking an extremely long time. This is the last mock draft, so no more after this. This is my final one. One round, every team, of course. Some things are going to be similar since that other mock draft was only about a week ago. Well, I think I made it a week ago, but I made the mock draft longer a week ago, but I actually made the video about a week ago. But, of course, we're starting with the Titans here. And I feel like these first three picks, there's not really a reason to go too in-depth with them. Actually, more than my first three picks are the same, but Cam Ward to the Titans. QB is very valuable. They're going to take that over a really good player at a different position. Browns pick Travis Hunter. It was possible to pick Carter when Myles Garrett was in talks with other teams, but now that he's basically a guaranteed Brown, Travis Hunter's the only pick that makes sense. And, of course, Abdul Carter to the Giants. And now, while this pick isn't universally accepted by everybody, I still really like it, so I want to keep doing it. It's the Patriots trading down with the Saints from 4 to 9. I think it makes a lot of sense for the Saints to trade up to get Sanders, because while I doubt the Jaguars would draft QB, the Raiders or Jets definitely would. So you're trading in front of both of them, because just in case, maybe the Jaguars don't want to trade down with the Saints. Maybe they have to trade down with the Patriots. I think they would do that. And I think they would do it for a QB, and I think the QB would be Shedeur Sanders. I've heard actually Milroe go in front of him. I heard Dar go in front of him. But I think Sanders is the most likely second quarterback off the board in the first round. Now, fifth, another pick that's exactly the same as last time. I've got the Jags going Mason Graham. I've had them going defensive line for a while now. They could really use it. I don't think this draft pick is going to make them instantly better. I think the Jaguars are going to have to be a process right now, because I don't know what's up with their team, but they didn't build it correctly. They're going to need help on that defense for more than just this pick, but this is a step in the right direction, picking Mason Graham. The Raiders were a potential QB spot. They're also a potential Genty spot, but I'm actually going to have them trade down as well. That's two trades in the top 6. I mean, we've seen two trades in the top 5 before, so two trades in the top 6 isn't that crazy. But it will be with, first I have to find them, with the Bears here, 6 and 10, and the Bears trade up to 6. I've seen them do this for Genty, but in this case, I'm not going to have that. I want to have them trade up for Armand Membu, who could easily be a top 5 pick. He could go at number 4 to the Patriots. So the Bears see that no tackle goes in the first 5 picks, and they're not going to risk anyone else selecting one in front of them. They get their pick. The Jets may not be too happy with that, but they can still select Will Campbell at 5, which brings us to the Panthers. I had them picking Jalen Walker. This time, I'm going in a different direction. Panthers select some help for Bryce Young, Teteroa McMillan out of Arizona. It's still hard to say, but with them picking receiver, the Patriots now have a pick of pretty much any edge rusher not named Abdul Carter. And I think they are going to go with Jalen Walker here at 10 or 9. And now at 10, the Raiders, this is going to pick perfectly for both the Raiders and the Patriots. Patriots are like, hey, we just trade down from 4 to 9 and still got the second best, potentially the second best edge rusher or playing front 7 player in the class. Because, like linebacker / edge rusher. He can play on ball, off ball. Either way, Jalen Walker's great. And then the Raiders are like, usually people say we have draft Genty at 6, but with this trade down, no one picks Genty here, and they can still get him at 10. Now we're at the Chargers, which I've had them go. What did I have them go last time? Last time I had the Chargers. Oh, I'm slow. It's because I spoiled it. I spoiled the pick. Anyway, because I said Chargers, and that's not even their pick yet, because it's the 49ers pick, but they are going to be trading down. This is the biggest trade down so far and actually I think maybe ever in my mock drafts. 11 pick trade down, 49ers trade down to 22. Chargers go up to 11 to select Tyler Warren, the tight end. There's two great tight ends in this draft class, but especially if a team like the Chargers prefer Warren over Lovely, they would do a lot to trade up for him. Especially because I think both tight ends could go in the top 15. This is a huge trade up. I think it's worth it for a tight end that the Chargers may love. They saw the Raiders grab Brock Bowers, and he was amazing. I don't know if Warren's going to be on that level, but even the chance of it, you can't really pass up. Cowboys here go Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. They get the edge rusher. I think they lost DeMarcus Lawrence, right? I'm not sure. I think Michael Parsons is staying put, though. The Dolphins are up next, and they're fine with Shamar Stewart going, because they could use edge, but here I have them go cornerback. Where is he? Am I blind, or... Oh, Janae Barron at 22 right now. Goes to Miami from Texas to the Dolphins. And now the Colts. Usually I have them picking Tyler Warren, but he is not on the board anymore thanks to the Chargers. So they go the second best tight end on the board, Colston Loveland. And now we're at Atlanta. I've seen people say the Falcons will trade up. I've seen them say they will trade down. I've usually had them stick at this pick. But this time I'm going to have them trade down, which will be the fourth pick in my fourth trade in my first round, with the Seahawks. Seahawks see Matthew Golden still on the board, and they do not want to wait any long. Okay. Dude, I don't know why Seahawks don't understand this, but you're getting a pick. You're getting a higher pick for your lower pick. I mean, what else could you want? Anyway, Seahawks select Matthew Golden at 15. They'd really need a receiver, man. It's not even funny. Cardinals select, once again, Mike Green. I had them pick him last time. Falcons are fine with trading down and missing out on him. And same for the Bengals. They picked the same guy as last time, Will Johnson out of Michigan. And now the Falcons are back on the clock, and they draft the same guy as my last mock draft. Last time they drafted him at 15, but this time at 18 they pick Michael Williams. And now we're at the Buccaneers. Last time I had them trade down. This time they will not, because I think in this spot I don't think they trade down. Because last time the Cowboys drafted Jahad Campbell at 12, so the Bucs didn't really have a chance, so they just traded down. This time, Jahad Campbell is on the board still for the Bucs at, what, was it 19? So I don't think they pass up on him, Campbell. Now we've got the Broncos. Last time I had them pick... Last time I had them trade up for Matthew Golden. This time, I'm going to have my first mock draft where a second running back goes in the first round. I think it's my first mock draft. Omarion Hampton from North Carolina goes at 20. And now the Steelers, which finally... Oh, okay, here we go. Another trade. First one in like 5 picks. It's the Steelers, and it's the Rams. 21 for 26. And with the Rams doing this, they've noticed defensive linemen have fallen in this draft class. Harmon's still here. Nolan's still here. And Tyreek Williams still on the board. Here I have them go Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss, who's risen in a few draft classes. In a few mock drafts. The Steelers trade down. They don't have anybody. They could pick Calvin Banks, but they've been picking offensive line a lot recently. And I think that leads the 49ers to select him. They traded down because they already missed out on Will Campbell and Amal Membu. They trade down, still get the next best tackle on the board. Packers are up next. They select a guy who people say may fall out of the first round, Luther Burden. Who's, I guess, you could say he's not really a good fit with Christian Watson already on the team, but... Vikings next, and I think they're also happy with this because they have Nick Emmanwori fall all the way to 24, which I don't really know if that'll happen looking in the future, but whatever. It's just a fun little mock draft. because the safeties are actually pretty good in this class, and I'm not sure if they would actually fall out of the top 20. But I think Starks could. He hasn't been that high recently, since the Falcons have kind of died down on their pursuit of him, or on their scouting of him. I think the Texans have to go offensive line here, actually. I mean, I've had them go D-line, too, but I think right here, Tyler Booker is who they go with out of Alabama. Steelers back on the clock, and I think this is where the third quarterback goes off the board. Last time I had the Steelers pick Milroe at their pick, but I think this time it'd be smart for them to trade down before selecting him, since not many teams later in the draft are actually going to be looking for a quarterback. I still think Milroe will be drafted in front of Dart. Ravens are on the board, on the clock, and I have them selecting a guy who could also fall out of the first round. I've had the Falcons pick this guy before, James Pierce out of Tennessee. Now it's the Lions, who last time I had them drafting a receiver, but this time I have them trade down. Trade out, actually, of the first round. And guess who trades back into the first? The Titans are back. They trade their early second round pick for a late first. That's a 7-pick trade up to select Nick Scouton out of Texas A&M. The Commanders are back, and this time I have them selecting finally Malachi Starks out of Georgia. Now it's the Bills. Last time Evan Worry fell all the way to the Bills pick, which doesn't happen this time, but they do get Derek Harmon this time out of Oregon, and the Chiefs. Last time I had them picking Chavon Revel. This time, they pass up on that. Go for defensive tackle, Kenneth Grant. And for the final pick in the first round, the Eagles pick ECU Dynasty legend Chavon Revel. And that's it. So some guys fall in the first round who I had going first round last time. Josh Connerly ends up falling out when I had him getting picked last time. Same for Jack Sawyer, Emeka Egbuka. And I think that's it. I think everyone else still stays in the first round. Well, some new introductions to the first round include... Was it just one? I think it's just Amarion Hanson. That's the only new first round guy, maybe. Well, no, Nick Scouton's new. And is there anyone else? Anyway, y'all can check it out. Make sure to check out the other mock draft to see some other possibilities. And a 2-round mock draft is not too bad because it's still fairly recently. Not much has changed in a week, but still want to get one last mock draft out there. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Adios.